Custom fitting. It's all we hear about, or it seems to be these days, how every golfer needs to be custom fitted for the clubs in order that they can play their best golf. In my opinion, most club golfers, anybody with a handicap, say, I don't know, 8, 9 or 10 and above, is not really going to get a huge amount from custom fitting. We're too inconsistent to be able to benefit from it. As humans, we're very good at adapting to a situation. If you think about throwing a pebble, for instance, a small pebble, throwing it at a basket, you'll throw it into that basket most times without much worry. If somebody gives you a slightly larger pebble, you're not going to be out of sync and not be able to throw that into the basket. You'll still be able to throw it straight into the basket. And I think a similar situation exists with golf clubs. And to try and prove that, I'm going to do an experiment whereby I've pulled together a really random selection of old clubs, deliberately chosen to be a complete mismatch from different ages, different weights, different lengths. I'm going to do a quick run through of those, and then I'm going to take them out on the course and see how I get on with them. I doubt whether I'll score as well as I normally do because there'll be such a mismatch, but it'll be an interesting experiment. So I hope you stick around to see the rest of the video and see how I get on. Rather than run through the whole 14 club bag, what I'm going to do today is review each club the first time I play it on the course. So I've just got one club here to explain how I'm going to review the clubs. I'm just going to give a very quick summary of each club, looking at the face, the club length. In fact, I'll probably put most of that information in some text on the side of the shot so that you can read that straight off and I don't have to discuss it all through. Before I begin playing, here's a very quick preview of the iron lineup, going from left to right, one iron to putter, and you can see that there's no uniformity in club lengths. And here's a close-up of the grips, going from top to bottom, one iron to putter. Regulars to the channel will know I have a bit of an unhealthy fascination with ferrules, and I know a few others do too, so here's a quick sneak of the ferrules on all the irons today. I've extended the usual loft table to include a bit more information for comparison, but I'll be giving all this information again when I review each individual club. Okay, time to get out on the course, I think. I'll be using the Stableford scoring system, and let's go and have a look at the first club I'm going to hit. First tee, and it's a 2-iron. This is by Fred Stevens, who I think was a pro in the Liverpool area. Who exactly made the club, I don't know, but it's a matched set. Dot face club, so this is an old club. Put the ball there. The shaft on this one is a coated shaft. It's made to look a bit like wood. This was the time when hickory shafts were being superseded by metal shafts, and this is an early metal shaft. The grip on it is an original leather grip, not in the best condition. We can see we've got a bit of tape there holding it on. It's not a very thick grip down at the bottom. If I bring the one iron grip back again, we can compare the two there. So it's a thin grip. Again, that's going to affect the performance or how I play the club, so the experts would tell us, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's get the experiment rolling then. 2-iron in hand. Not a bad strike. It went 185 yards, leaving me 168 to the green, and for that shot I've elected to use the 5-iron. Let's have a look at that one. The 5-iron is a Greenway. Again, I've featured this club before. It is a slightly shorter club than a normal club. Nice face, it sits nicely by the ball. The flex on this one, don't really actually says anything. Dynashot Japan, but it's a leather wrap grip. Nice club. Here's the shot from the rough. Not a great strike, and it comes up a little bit short, so I'm left with a chip, as we can see, and I've chosen the 9-iron. The 9-iron, As I say, I've really mixed and matched the bag. We can see this has got a big offset, it's a high toe, it's a cavity back club. Heaven forbid I'd show one of those, but as I say, I want to mix this up as much as possible to make it as uncustom fit a set as I can. We can see it's by Fazer. I think they're owned by American Golf now. 9 iron, Pro Classic. And it's a Fazer shaft, or at least a Fazer shaft sticker. Fazer Flex, whatever that is. And it's a typical swing right grip, again with the Fazer mark on there. Let's see how my chipping's doing today then. Bit stabby, but not a bad effort. Now the Zambra Scuffler. I don't think I need to show the putter. The weak link in the set. I think I made it too hard on myself choosing this one. It's a club by a company called Rivers Zambra. I don't know whether you can read it on there. It says Rivers Zambra putter, made in England. And we've got warranted hand forged. On the sole, if you can read it there, we've got a number 2 and the name of the club, which is the Scuffler, which was quite appropriate, I think, in this case. If we look at the club, we can see that it's got quite a bit of loft on the face. I haven't measured it, but I'll probably do that and bring it up in the text here. It's a pinned head, and also the most unnerving thing about it was it's got sort of a convex face. I don't know whether you can tell on the overhead view here, but it's very slightly convex, and I had real difficulty lining the putter up when I was making my strokes. The shaft on this one is interesting. It's an Apollo shaft, so it's a very early steel shaft. It's not a stepped shaft. Whether it predates Apollo's agreement with True Temper or not, I don't know. But it says Apollo Flex steel shaft. We've got a patent number there, registered, made in England. The grip on it, unfortunately, has been replaced. It would have been a leather grip. We've got a generic wrap type grip here. It just says Tour on the end. So, as I say, that is definitely the weak point in the set. After that nice chip then, a makeable par putt. But no, so that'll be a bogey and 2 Stableford points. A very quick piece to camera. I'm going to play 8 holes, I think, in this experiment on non-custom fitting. That'll give me time to use every club in the bag, and hopefully I'll play somewhere around my handicap. We'll just have a very quick look at the bag. Here's the motley collection. As you can see, all the clubs I described. I'm going to bring up each club as I already started to do, give a brief description before I hit it for the first time, and then carry on with the video. Black flag. Wilson Staff Dynapower Turf Rider, 6 iron. 6 iron, let's get this grass off. I'm filming this after having played the clubs. So this is a classic club, Wilson Dynapower Turf Rider sole, 1962-63 release date. Fluid feel hosel. This is the 6 iron, and the shaft on this one is a Wilson Staff Pro stiff flex. So as you can see, I've got a mix of flexes, a mix of lengths, a nice grip on this one. I think this is leather. So yeah, overall very nice club. Let's see how the Wilson goes then. Shot hole, so bogey will be playing to handicap. Decent strike, just drew a little bit too much to the left and it was slightly long. And for my next chip, Mizuno TP9 pitching wedge. I think this is the newest club in the set. You can see a plain black ferrule. It's a Mizuno tour proven TP9. And we've got the TP9 mark there. One of Mizuno's classic clubs. Shaft in this one. It's illegible. I can't remember what they were. I've re-gripped this one with just a basic generic grip.
Right, can I make 2 good chips in a row? No. So putting from just off the fringe won't count as a putt in my stats, and a very good effort. Scuffler nearly showed me up there. Tapping for bogey, 2 Stableford points.
Nicholas Div by MacGregor 1 wood. So the 1 wood in the bag is a Nicholas Div MacGregor laminated 1 wood, probably late 1970s in date, pretty manky grip. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes.
Pretty good strike, slightly right, and it ended up going into one of the bunkers where the recent wet weather has left me a stony lie, so I've chosen the Fazer 9 iron. Just trying to chop it out, and it actually comes out quite well.
Browning 440 4 iron, big offset. The 4 iron, I said I was really going to mix and match these clubs. Here we've got a low profile Browning 440. I featured these in a previous video, and the shaft on this one is a regular flex, and it's just a straightforward grip, as you can see there.
203 yards to go with the 4 iron. I caught the ground on the takeaway and carried on with the swing, hit it very fat, left me with 90 yards to go, and I've chosen the Crowflight Exploder.
The Sand Club, again you can see straight away I'm going back in time again with this one. I've got a very tightly lined face with some dots in the centre there. It's a bit beaten up. An interesting thing to note on this one though is that rather than offset we've got onset. It's a, I can't quite get the camera angle right to show that. Is that the better angle? Yes. So rather than a trailing leading edge, this one actually projects in front of the shaft line, which makes it, if you're not used to it, it's a little bit off-putting when you're playing your shot. It's a Crowflight, which I think is by Spalding, and it's called the Dynamiter. Whether you can read that, I'm not sure there. There is a bit of bounce on the sole, so it is a recovery treble club. The shaft is another coated shaft. I'm pretty sure this one is Pyratone, which is like a celluloid. Again, it makes it look like a hickory shaft. The grip on this one is very thin. I can get another grip just to compare.
90 yards to the middle, front flag. If you swing again and it comes up short.
Mizuno again.
This is my 5th shot and I don't get a stroke on this hole. Managed to get it onto the green. But that'll be 2 putts, so that's a double bogey 7, no Stableford points. Next club, going again with the 1 wood. This one went very high and I lost it in the air, so I played a provisional, but I did find my first ball. And it's the 6 iron again. A pretty awful swing really, a big slice out to the right. I don't think it was a shank anyway. 7 iron.
Here's the 7 iron. This is a Dunlop Tony Jacklin contour sole model. Nice blade, weight at the bottom. One of the nicest things about this one is the groovy purple ferrule with red and gold bands. Shaft on this one is a Dynamite regular flex, and it's a cord grip. So yeah, nice club.
Can I get this anywhere near the green? Good strike, and it comes up just short of the green. I decided to take the scuffler because of the additional loft. It should get me over this fringe pretty well. And you should hopefully be able to see the way it lifts the ball up. There we go, it's almost like a chip. The ball rolls out quite nicely, leaves me a chance. So this for a bogey, slides by. Disappointing bogey, 1 Stableford point. Next club on the next hole is a 2-wood.
This one is by Gradidge, made in England. It's laminated, it's an early laminated head. I think this is a 1950s club. It's got the Bobby Lock signature on there, and the shaft is a sort of a metallic goldish green colour, which was common around about the 1950s. It's got a very old grip on it. It's a what we call a cord type grip, so it's got fibres inside the rubber of the grip, and I'm pretty sure that's the original grip on there. So again, that's a 70 odd year old grip. It's still got some good grip though, so it should be playable for sure.
Quick update on the Stableford. I'm currently on 5 points, whereas if I was playing to handicap I should be on 8. 2-wood was a good strike, but it just faded a little bit too much into a blue staked hazard area where we have a compulsory drop marked by the X. This ends up pushing you a long way back to away from the hole, and I've got well over 200 yards here, but I'm taking the 5-iron as I've just shown. To reposition the camera, there's no way I'm going to reach this green from here, so I'm just playing for position. And I hit that really well. It went 185 yards. The drop is a free drop, by the way. Here I am with the dynamiter. 73 yards out there, and I caught that well, put it on the green. So this putt for my par just goes by on the low side. But this is a shot hole, so a bogey will get me 2 points, and that's what I've got. Next hole, hitting the Tony Jacklin Dunlop club again. Really good strike, just drew a little bit over to the left side of the green. And this longish putt will again illustrate the loft of the putter when you see the ball take off. But I judged that one pretty well, and that'll be a tap in for a par and 3 Stableford points. Next tee, and we've got the 1-iron at last.
Scary club. I have played this one before, but it's still, I think, the most intimidating club that I've got. It's a Petron 1-iron, and you can see it's got a very thin sole there. In fact, I'm just going to get a golf ball. Quite a scary club to hit. It's 15 degrees of loft. The shaft is a Petron Gold S, so it's a stiff flex shaft, and it's a half cord grip.
How will it go then? Just concentrating on a smooth swing here. And I catch it well. Straight, decent height, and it goes 225 yards. Very happy with that. And for my next shot, I've chosen the Fazer 9-iron. Should be an easy one to the green, but I've slowed this right down so you can see the awful shank I hit, which goes right and into the deep rough. Luckily I do find the ball, so let's go and see what it looks like. Here I am, deep in the hay. I'm just going to try and thump this as hard as I can, hopefully get it over the bunker onto the green. Mission accomplished, but it just runs off the back of the green onto the fringe here. I'm using the Onions 8-iron for this chip, which goes pretty well. That gets me onto the green for 4. It's a stroke hole, so I've got this putt for 2 points. And in she goes. Right, last hole. I still haven't used the 3-iron or hit a full shot with the 8-iron. 2 wood off the tee, a bit low, but it gets some way up the fairway. And now I can introduce the 3-iron, ladies 3-iron, ladies shaft.
This is by Fred Bowdry. It's a Stewart club, and we can see there it's stamped L, which signifies that it's been put together for a lady. So this is a ladies club, and we can also confirm that if we look at the shaft band there, true temper Dynalite, and it's an L flex, so a ladies shaft. So it's a shorter club than normal, nice little ferrule there, line face, and it's quite a light club as well.
What can I do with the ladies 3-iron then? I've got 279 yards to go and I need to squeeze the 8-iron in, so hopefully I'll get this into 8-iron range. And I do actually catch that really well. It goes 190 yards and I've got the 8-iron. Only 75 yards to go to the flag.
8-iron is a J.H. Onions Crookshank model. And this one has the slight bend in the shaft, which is deliberate. All the clubs in the set have got that, and the idea was to offset the head slightly. It worked on the woods, but on the irons it was a bit of a gimmick. Another nice fancy ferrule on this one. The shaft is a True Temper Pro Fit. I can't see what flex it is, pretty sure it would be regular. And this is a chamois grip, one of my favourites. Nice weight to this one.
A full shot with this 8-iron would go about 130 yards, but as I say, I've got 75 to the flag, so I need to manufacture something. And that awkward looking half swing actually gets me right where I need to be, so very happy with that. 2 putts for a par. No stroke on this hole. This one's a little bit tentative. But I make the putt, so that's a par, 2 Stableford points. My final Stableford score for the 8 holes was 14 points. Playing to handicap, it should have been 16, so I was 2 over handicap. What have we learnt from this experiment then? It's obviously a very extensive and independent analysis conducted over many holes of golf by many different players under exacting scientific conditions. And I think we can confidently say that custom fitting for the average club golfer isn't really all it's cracked up to be. Can't we? Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you next time.